Well, welcome to Not So Mid Major, where I've in the past more talked about college basketball, but now I kind of want to still talk about college basketball. But since the NHL draft is coming up, I do want to talk about the NHL draft because I've been so curious about how teams keep their picks, how they trade away their picks, how do they get new picks for themselves. So we're going to explore all of that going team by team, day by day. How did these teams get their picks? How do they trade away their picks? Who they got in return? Was it a good pick? Was it not? This is going to be a retrospective pick where, yes, in hindsight, they may have made great picks. In hindsight, they may have made very bad picks, but at the time, it could have been good picks. So we are going to go team by team, break down what each of the picks are, how do they get it, go round by round, and to see what they got. So we are going to start off with the first overall pick. At least in the first round, they aren't going to get the first picks in the second, third, and later rounds, but they won the draft lottery. Now, say what you want about it, if it was rigged or not. Hey, I don't know. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but the Chicago Blackhawks did win the first overall pick in the first round. So let's go round by round. Who do they have? Do they keep their picks? Do they get some picks? Do they trade away some picks? So in the first round, we have the Chicago Blackhawks keeping their own pick plus having a Tampa Bay Lightning pick. Second round, they have their own pick plus Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Rangers, and Ottawa Senators. In the third round, their own pick plus the Stars. Fourth and fifth round, they have their own. They traded away their sixth round pick, and they still maintain their own seventh round pick. So let's first start off with the Chicago Blackhawks. Round one, what did they give away? What did they receive? So this is a trade with the Tampa Bay Lightning on March 18th of 2022, where the Lightning acquired Brandon Hagel, a 2022 fourth round pick that they gave away to the Los Angeles Kings that year, a 2024 fourth round pick. Blackhawks acquired Taylor Radish, Boris Kachuk, a 2023 first round conditional pick, and a 2024 first round conditional pick, both being protected if it's in the first top 10. Now let's break these down piece by piece, starting with what Tampa Bay Lightning received first. So Tampa Bay Lightning did receive Brandon Hagel, who was, fun fact, drafted in the sixth round in 2016 by the Buffalo Sabres. However, didn't re-sign with the team, didn't ever actually play with the Sabres, relinquished by the Sabres, and then was eligible for the 2018 draft. In the 2018 draft, humorously was undrafted, but did sign with the Chicago Blackhawks. With the Blackhawks, he spent about 3 years, played 108 games, scored 30 goals and 31 assists. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, he did play 103 games, 34 goals and 37 assists. And the Chicago Blackhawks on the other end, well, Taylor Radish was actually drafted in the second round in 2016 by the Tampa Bay Lightning, spent quite a bit of years in the OHL and the AHL until about 2021. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, he played about 53 games, 5 goals, 7 assists, but 62 hits. With the Chicago Blackhawks, 99 games, 26 goals, 21 assists, and 123 hits. Boris Kachuk, on the other end, second round, also in 2016 by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, spent some time in the OHL and AHL with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Played 38 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 98 hits. So I guess they're just looking for hits with these two people. Chicago Blackhawks, 79 games, 6 goals, 11 assists, 125 hits. So yes, these are two heavy hitter players that Chicago Blackhawks obtained. So now let's move on to the second round, where there were 3 different trades, one of which actually involved 3 total teams altogether. We will get to that in the very end, but we will start off with the second of the Tampa Bay Lightning trades, which happened on July 27th of 2021, where Tampa Bay Lightning acquired Brent Seabrook and the Chicago Blackhawks acquired Taylor Johnson in a 2023 second round pick. Well, now let's break down the pieces. Brent Seabrook, a Chicago Blackhawks legend, drafted first round by the Blackhawks in 2003, played 15 years with the Chicago Blackhawks, 1,114 games, fourth most in franchise history, scored 103 goals, has 361 assists with the Chicago Blackhawks. Unfortunately, due to injury, and didn't play, unfortunately, in the 2020-2021 season, as well as the 2021-2022 season, but unfortunately intends to retire at the end of this year, so he did not actually record a single game with the Tampa Bay Lightning, unfortunately. So it looks like a little bit of a dud on this one, unfortunately, for the Lightning, who was looking to win a playoffs, and again, they actually kind of did. Now on the other end, the Chicago Blackhawks acquiring Taylor Johnson, who was undrafted and signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2001. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, played 9 years, played 589 games, 9th overall in franchise, 161 goals, which is 7th overall in franchise, 200 assists, plus 8 shorthanded goals, 5th in franchise, 30 game-winning goals, which is 7th in franchise. But then with the Chicago Blackhawks, just 2 years, 82 games, 15 goals, 24 assists, so still looking to produce each year after year with the Chicago Blackhawks. And now let's talk about the other trades that happened within the second round. The Chicago Blackhawks made a trade with the Ottawa Senators back in February 22nd, 2023 of this year, where the Chicago Blackhawks received Nikita Zaitsev, a 2023 second round pick, a 2026 fourth round pick, and the Ottawa Senators received future considerations. Who knows what that means at this point, but it's going to mean future considerations. When is the future? I don't know. Today is the future in terms of that, but the future could mean whenever, and we will get to that when we actually talk about the Ottawa Senators, because there's a lot of future considerations to consider there. But we are going to talk about this trade with the Chicago Blackhawks, and with these we're going to break down those individual pieces of what the Chicago Blackhawks received. Well, there's only one thing that we actually really need to consider, which is the Nikita Zaitsev piece of all this, where he was undrafted and signed with the Maple Leafs back in 2016. With the Leafs, played 3 years, 223 games, 12 goals, 51 assists, 421 block shots, 428 hits in just 223 games with the Leafs. Was traded to the Senators. With the Senators, he played 4 years, 203 games, 7 goals, 38 assists, 377 block shots, 411 hits. The Chicago Blackhawks, 18 games, 3 points, 29 block shots, and 34 hits. So again, Chicago Blackhawks, it seems like with the first of the Tampa Bay draft picks, as well as this one, received a lot of heavy hitters and block shots, guys. In this three-way trade, the Arizona Coyotes received 50% of Patrick Kane's salary for a cap hit. They didn't actually receive Patrick Kane himself, just his salary for cap, as well as a 2025 third-round conditional pick from the Rangers. They will receive either the Rangers or the Stars pick due to different trades that are going on right now. The New York Rangers, however, acquire Patrick Kane at 50% of his salary, as well as Cooper Zek. And then the Chicago Blackhawks receive Vilasari Jarvi, as well as Andy Welinski, a 2023 second-round conditional pick, as well as a 2025 fourth-round pick that is the New York Rangers. So and now let's break down the individual pieces. Let's first start off with the New York Rangers with Cooper Zek. Undrafted, has been bouncing back and forth between the AHL and the ECHL, but we may see him soon in the NHL. Who knows? But Patrick Kane, we all know who he is. We know his name. Even if you are not a Chicago Blackhawks fan, you know him. He was drafted first overall in 2007 by the Chicago Blackhawks. With the Blackhawks, 1,161 games, third overall in franchise history. 446 goals, which is third in franchise history, 779 assists, second in franchise, 1,225 points, second in franchise history. More fun facts about him. 122 power play goals, fourth in franchise, 67 game-winning goals, fourth in franchise, 9 hat tricks, tied for fourth in franchise. His number is going to get retired as soon as he does, and it is going to be an absolute nut fest in Chicago. Now, Chicago Blackhawks, on the other hand, received Vilasari Jarvi, which was just the signing rights and actually did play with the Chicago Blackhawks. 25 years old, has minimal AHL experience with minimal exposure in the NHL, but who knows? He might get a little bit more because he's with the Blackhawks, who is looking to rebuild with young guys. And then Andy Welinski actually was drafted third round by the Ducks back in 2011. Did play 3 years with the Ducks, playing 46 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. Hasn't really had a lot of exposure in the NHL. So really, a lot of these picks were for Jarvi, plus Rangers trying to get Patrick Kane to hopefully win the Stanley Cup this year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. As well as Arizona Coyotes more meeting cap minimum, to be honest, with all these picks. And now let's move on to the third round, where it was actually a different trade with the Arizona Coyotes for the Chicago Blackhawks back in July 8th of 2022, where the Arizona Coyotes received a 2022 Edmonton Oilers third round pick, and the Chicago Blackhawks actually received a 2023 Dallas Stars third round pick. So now let's talk about the different pieces of this too, because we like to know what did they get actually in the draft, plus what did they trade away, how did they get that traded as well, because Arizona Coyotes received the Dallas Stars pick. So Arizona Coyotes, with their draft pick back in 2022, drafted Jeremy Laglos, which in 2022-2023 played for the Cape Breton Eagles as well as the Quebec Ramparts, played 61 games, 11 goals, 39 assists. So now let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. How did Arizona Coyotes receive this pick? We will talk about this in a later draft pick because this has future considerations for another team. So back on March 20th of 2022, the Stars received Scott Wedgwood in exchange of that 2023 third round pick to the Arizona Coyotes, which Arizona Coyotes used for this pick for the Chicago Blackhawks. And now let's talk about the final thing in these draft picks. The one pick that Chicago Blackhawks gave away. They gave it away to the Carolina Hurricanes. With this pick, the Chicago Blackhawks decided to draft Niels Jontrup, which in the USHL has played 59 games, 12 goals, 15 assists. So who knows what the Carolina Hurricanes are going to pick up this year. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. Maybe we'll see Niels in the NHL soon. Who knows? But as of right now, this is what we're going to be looking at. And that is it for the Chicago Blackhawks. This is what we're looking at so far for them. They have their picks, except for in the 6th round, plus a bunch of 1st, 2nd, 3rd rounds. Obviously, we're going to be expecting them come draft day. Their number 1 overall pick is going to be Connor Bedard, but who knows what they pick up overall in these other picks. Maybe it is some sleepers that we're not really expecting, especially in these late rounds with the Tampa Bay Lightning and New York Rangers, or maybe they do pick up some big superstar that we just don't expect it or ever heard of. There is a expectancy for Chicago Blackhawks to rebuild, especially after their couple of years that they've had, but who knows. And that's where we end with this video. So please hit like, please hit subscribe. I will be posting a video every day from now until NHL draft day, breaking down each individual team's draft picks. Who do they get? Who do they receive? What did they give away? What all these details are within their trades that they've made over the years. So until then, please like, please subscribe, please wash your hands. I know we're still out of COVID, but please still wash those hands. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time.